Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be discussing what I thought of the latest and very, very good episode of The Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon dropped its newest episode last night on AMC and AMC Plus. I was working late, so I didn't get a chance to watch it until just now. Really enjoyed it. Before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled review. I was behind on this show for a couple of episodes until recently, so if you're not caught up on this show like I was, do not keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. So first and foremost, I was a bit confused with the whole Jeanette taking Quinn into custody and throwing him in the cell with Daryl, because it feels like Quinn was trying to keep Daryl and Laurent from leaving, and they got into that big nasty fist fight when Daryl knocked his ass out. So why Jeanette thinks he betrayed her or tried to double cross her is a little uncertain to me, especially since it was the woman who let Daryl and Laurent go. She was holding them at gunpoint and told them to go. So I don't know what the point of that was. That was a bit confusing. Everything else, though, made sense. I mean, we finally got some answers as to how Daryl ended up on a boat. It was adrift and went to Paris. And, apparently we got a little cameo appearance. Well, it was more like a voiceover appearance by Carol, of all people, which was exciting. Apparently, she and Daryl were catching up via radio communications, and it sounds like she was trying to tell him that someone had returned. Someone came back. Now, who came back remains to be seen. Personally, I feel like it could be Morgan, because he recently exited Fear the Walking Dead, which is in its 8th and final season. And his final scene showed him heading back to Alexandria, Virginia, where he last left Rick and the Allies. So I think Morgan made his way back to Alexandria, and then they found out, oh, well, everyone's over at the Commonwealth, and then probably ended up over there as well. But that remains to be seen. But it sounds like it was someone really important to Daryl for Carol to relay that someone had come back or somebody came back. But of course, the radio cut out, so neither Daryl nor the audience could hear who that was. But it was a hell of a tease and an exciting one at that. Speaking of exciting, my God, the Super Walker, both Super Walkers in the flashback on the boat, and then in the present with Daryl in the gladiator pit, and the soldier shooting that tranquilizer dart, which was full of some kind of weird serum thing that apparently turned the walker into a super walker, making it super scary strong, extra aggressive, and probably ravenous as hell, but more importantly, stronger and unstoppable. So I guess that's what the French have been experimenting with, trying to turn walkers into unstoppable killing machines that they'll probably use on their enemies or anyone who dares oppose them, or at least not all the French people, but Jeanette's people at least. So, the rest of this episode was great. I mean, I was sorry to see their guide go, the guy who's taking them to Nest. I'm sorry that he died fighting walkers, but at least he had an interesting backstory, if not kind of a sad death scene. And I was a bit surprised with Laurent setting the boat free, but his reasoning made sense. It was like, well, as soon as we get there, I'm going to lose you, and I've lost everybody I've ever known, and I don't want to lose any more people. So I like how that kind of calmed Daryl down and brought him back to, okay, this kid needs someone. I'll be here for him. So that was a nice touch. But overall, I really, really liked this episode. I wasn't sure if Isabel was going to go through it with either killing Quinn or herself. I don't know what killing herself would have gotten her, except maybe sparing herself a lifetime of misery being paired off with that prick again, so I'm not sure. But overall, I really liked this episode. It was a healthy balance of past and present storytelling, seeing how Daryl was in Maine, ended up doing this fuel supply, well, not fuel supply run, but like this goods exchange with an exchange for capturing walkers, certain walkers that, they would get fuel in exchange for that and whatnot. He tried to help that poor kid out. and then the pricks may have killed him and turned him into a walker, which was kind of fucked up. But then Daryl and the prick end up becoming prisoners on the same boat, literally. And I love Daryl's little escape there from when they had him on his knees right before they were about to throw him into the pit. And I was like, oh, it's go time. And then he got his vest back from that jerk off who took it earlier. That was satisfying as hell. Watching him get his vest back was very cool. So yeah, overall, great episode. It had a few confusing moments here or there, but I'm sure it'll all become quite clear in the season finale, which drops next Sunday. That's right, the season 1 finale drops next Sunday on AMC and AMC Plus. The show is confirmed to get a second season not that long ago. Some more Daryl Dixon stories are coming, and I'm curious to see how the first season alone will end. So I'm pretty excited, as I hope you guys are too, especially with this cage match between Daryl and the Super Walker. That's going to be awesome. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned and subscribe to this channel for more Walking Dead content as it keeps on coming. Excuse me. Have a good one, everyone. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.